Hello, and thank you for joining us on Classic Vinyl Podcast. It's the podcast where we listen to and review songs and albums from the classic vinyl era of the 60s and 70s. I am one of your hosts, Justin, and like always, I'm joined here in the basement studio by the guy that saved all his pennies and all his dimes strictly for this song, my co-host, Tyler.
She's real fine.
Who is?
She is.
She or the 409?
The 409. Well, nothing can catch her.
Well, this is a love song to a car.
This is definitely a love song to a car.
Yeah, it certainly is.
This guy is an audiophile.
And we're on to the Beach Boys and their song 409, which was suggested to us by Pete from Moscow, Idaho. So not too far away from us. We're northern Utah. He's in northern Idaho.
Yeah.
So actually quite a ways, but
Yeah.
closer than some people and
But a 409 could get from here to there pretty quick.
pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Now, we've done the Beach Boys on this podcast multiple times before, so we're not going to get into the full band history. If you want to hear some of that, go back to one of the earlier episodes. But obviously, the Beach Boys were formed in the early 60s by brothers Brian Wilson, Carl Wilson, and Dennis Wilson, and they really did become one of the defining bands of the 60s, and they're well known for their surf harmonies, and they've evolved from there, you know, getting into Pet Sounds era with Good Vibrations, God Only Knows, California Girls, stuff like that. This band has sold over 100 million albums worldwide, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988. And obviously, like I said, Pet Sounds is considered one of the best albums of all time. So an amazing band, in my opinion. They cover a lot of ground, and they're one of the best-selling bands of all time. So, Pete from Moscow, thanks for the suggestion. And Tyler, do you want to get to the song review?
Let's review it.
And now it's time for the song review.
So today we're doing the Beach Boys and their hit song 409. I guess, Tyler, I'm sure you know this song very well, but what is your history with this one?
I wasn't conceived to this song, but I was born to this song.
Really?
Probably.
Well, the Beach Boys have strong ties here to Utah. They even have a song called Salt Lake City.
Exactly.
Yeah, which...
Oddly enough, I hadn't heard Salt Lake City till I was in my 20s.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's a very popular song.
No, but this one, a lot of their car songs I grew up on.
Even the surfing songs from the early era, I think all of their songs, whether they actually be about cars or they're about surfing or California life or whatever it is, they all fit perfectly into car culture. And I'm someone that attends a lot of car shows, and I'm into old cars and things like that. And the Beach Boys fill out the perfect soundtrack for that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to a little history on the Beach Boys song 409. This song was released June 4th of 1962 in the U.S. on Capitol Records, and it was the B-side to the more popular Surfin' Safari song, which I think 409 is popular, but Surfin' Safari is a pretty damn popular song as well.
Yeah.
I believe this was only released in the U.S. as a single. I couldn't find any history on anything else anywhere else. This comes from the album that was titled Surfin' Safari and was also later included on their album Little Deuce Coupe. So Surfin' Safari, the album reached number 32 on the U.S. Billboard charts, but did not chart in the UK or Canada.
This is a quintessential American band.
Oh, without a doubt, but they hit it big. I mean, they were a huge influence on a lot of bands, including the Beatles, you know, really were into the Beach Boys as well. And the album Surfin' Safari is obviously well known for the title track, Surfin' Safari, this song 409, another less famous song, 10 Little Indians, but this is what really helped launch the Beach Boys into their identity, right? And their identity was, like we were talking, surf songs, car songs, things like that.
Teenage anthems.
They really were. They really were. And I think more importantly, kind of teenage California anthems, because everybody at the time wanted to be to California.
Yeah.
That's where the weather was nice. That's where the girls were nice. That's where
the movies were made. You could become a star there. It was Hollywood. Yeah.
It's where the cars were nice. So this song was written by Brian Wilson, Mike Love, and Gary Usher. I don't know where Gary Usher comes in, but whatever. Lead vocals on this are by Mike Love. So as this song was recorded, you've obviously got Mike Love on lead vocals, Brian Wilson on bass and backing vocals, Carl Wilson on lead guitar and backing vocals, David Marks on rhythm guitar and backing vocals, and Dennis Wilson on drums and backing vocals. It was recorded in April of 1962 in Western Studios in Los Angeles, California, and produced by Murray Wilson. Obviously, Murray is famously the Boys' father that kind of ruled this band with a iron fist a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. And that's pretty much what Murray Wilson's known for.
For micromanaging the Beach Boys.
Exactly. And sad as some of that story is, it's almost like you can't argue with it either because it worked. Whatever it did, it worked.
True.
So this song, I mean, if you don't know what 409 is, it's a celebration of that famous big block 409 engine that was Chevy engines in the early 60s. And it became a very big staple of the drag race culture, which is what a lot of their songs are about as well.
So was there a particular model of Chevrolet that the 409 engine was put in, or was it just kind of you could get any car or
No,
as long as a muscle car?
It was in the big cars. I mean, because you got to realize this, the early 60s, there wasn't really a muscle car yet. They were into it, but that wasn't a big thing. So you had...
Is this still like the big beefy...
so you're talking Bel Airs, Biscaynes, things like that.
Yeah.
Those big cars. So
Yeah.
Del Rey's, things like that. Runtime on this song, it's a very, very long song, clocking in at 1 minute, 59 seconds.
Yeah.
It's funny because we've been listening to it all week. It's a song we're both very familiar with, but then we listened to it one time before we hit record here in the studio, but it's over.
It's how long it takes this car to get around the track, man.
Yeah. It's
one lap.
It's quick. And this song really just, I mean, the lyrics are easy to follow. It focuses on car culture, speed, teenage excitement, basically all centered around this Chevy engine and the 409. I think some of that's kind of long forgotten, but it was a big thing at the time. Like I said, this song really helped identify, along with Surfing Safari especially, and chronicle, the California culture at the time and what you want to call hot rod music or car music or whatever it is. And it's funny that the Beach Boys were able to do that, but also popularize surf music as well. So the song itself reached number 76 on the U.S. Billboard charts. It did not chart in the UK or Canada, but you got to realize this is the very, very early Beach Boys, so they really hadn't broken out internationally quite yet. And it does rank below the other Beach Boys' major international hits, even still to this day, but it's played a lot. I think it's hard to go to a car show if you're a car show type of guy and not hear this song. Mm-hmm. In fact, if you run a car show and don't play this song, I think you're doing the car show a disservice, to be honest with you.
Well, and it doesn't seem like the UK is really big into big cars.
No, their roads are too small.
Yeah, and their cars are really modest, and petrol is really expensive compared to gasoline.
Yeah, because gasoline, it's not expensive here at all right now, is it?
No. It only doubled that in the last year.
So I couldn't find any demos of this. It's been covered by a lot of various artists here and there, but nobody that's real name-worthy, to be honest with you.
Nobody that's the Beach Boys.
Well, that's a good way to put it. But
there's songs that we've heard covered by other bands that went bigger than the original, right? This is not one. This is one where the Beach Boys, this is their song. They own it.
Yeah, and some of these Beach Boys songs, although I like them and love a lot of them from the early 60s, they're kind of, in a way, uncoverable.
Yeah.
And not saying that people haven't, but they don't seem right. What else could you do to this song to make it different?
Yeah. How are you going to capture what they captured?
Yeah, and even that you could probably cover it exact for exact, but sometimes I don't like when covers are covered exactly, but I'm the first one to admit when a cover of a song I really adore is completely butchered up and done different, that pisses me off too. So
Sure.
I'm just stubborn that way, I guess.
Yeah, because it's a fine line between, covering a song and just ripping it off. Jimmy Page.
Yeah. Yeah. God, we're so hard on Jimmy Page.
We are, and we shouldn't be because he's talented. And,
Yeah, well, and I love Jimmy Page. I love Led Zeppelin. So it's
half the time he's stealing from himself.
well, and the funny thing is if you get into any of it with any of your favorite bands, I mean, most of these bands, none of them really came up with anything. They just stole a bunch of stuff and Modge Podge or Hodgepodge?
Modge Podge it together, sure.
And Modge Podged it all together to make it their own sound. And that's what I think that's any band from the Stones to the Beatles to any of the bands today. They're recycling things. And I think it's when they can put different things together and do something different with it is when it's kind of special.
Yeah.
But this song's featured all over movies and TV and commercials. You hear it all the time. I mean, especially when it's anything to do with a car. But this really is a song that's kind of a blueprint for the early Beach Boys image. Before they got into really their deep harmonies and things like that, when you get into Pet Sounds, but there are quite a few harmonies in this. You can hear them hitting them very early.
So the 409, that's not a model. It's not a model of a car. It's a model of an engine.
Yeah, it's the size of an engine, 409 cubic inches.
Okay.
And I think even today it's still revered as a pretty awesome motor.
Yeah, that's a sizable motor.
Yeah, it was popular then, as big as it was, and it was hitting the drag race culture all over the place. And that's kind of why it's funny that we've got songs about love and all this, but this is a love song. Don't deny it, but it's a love song specifically about an engine and the cubic inches of that engine.
Yeah, this kid loves a car.
Yeah, nowadays, if you get into love songs about inches, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
The one thing that's really popular about this song is how it opens up, that we'll get into it, is it opens up with the engine sound effects. And that was a very early 1960s production touch that really hadn't done anything like that in popular music as of yet.
Okay, I was curious about that because like I gave this a listen to a few times, and I don't recall being when I was a kid there being the engine sound effects, but I guess there always have been because I couldn't find any version that didn't have them in.
No, not unless some of the I can't imagine them cutting it. I mean, this song's already shorter than every other damn song on the radio, so I can't imagine them cutting it short. Every time I've ever heard this song, it starts with that engine. Mm-hmm. So, but
that engine keeps coming back.
Yeah,
Squealing tires.
And even though the song was a B-side, this song, I think, arguably is just as influential as Surfin' Safari. To kind of come out of the gate with this band, to come out with a big car song and a big surfing song, which those are the two staples of the Beach Boys.
In the summer of 1962, I mean, these guys were it hit so perfectly right at the beginning of the summer. Cars and surfboards and California for the teenagers in the early 60s. Great time to be young and alive. Kennedy's still alive and president, and it's in the heyday of Camelot, so they're having a great time. And it was just, everything was so perfect about this and the way it came together.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when you're talking about the Beach Boys, this song is very, very simple. There's no doubt about it, but you've got to kind of put yourself in the shoes of the time, because when you get into later work, when you get to the Pet Sounds era, they were trying to move the needle just like other bands were. And I think both the Beach Boys influencing the Beatles influencing the Beach Boys, and those bands influencing many other bands, as simple as this is, they would evolve. And I think they kind of got pigeonholed into that surf car sound for a while, because I love the Beach Boys, but a lot of their songs you can lump into the same kind of thing, and they have a lot of the same harmonies. They're about the same type of subject matter, but it was a formula that they were well known for, and I'll be honest, the formula worked.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So after listening to Beach Boys 409, what are your thoughts on this song?
This song is a beautiful, beautiful work of art. You don't see songs using sound effects like they did with this one, with the revving of the car engine.
No, I think that was pretty different for the time.
Yeah, but it fits so cool. And it was just, this thing fuels your testosterone rush. I mean, this is all about falling in love with a car. Now, this is early falling in love with a car, right?
Makes me wonder how they got those sounds. Are they going out and micing up an actual car? Because nowadays, I mean, any effects board or whatever you got can make any sound you want, right? You can pull it in from anywhere. But at the time, I mean, do you have Brian Wilton out there with a mic behind, Dennis's car getting that sound or
is this in the era of the radio disc jockeys who have their whole Foley tapes where they can just, pull a sound effect off of a tape?
could do? I don't know. I didn't see anything about that, how they procured the sound, but it'd be interesting to find out.
It would for sure, especially since I imagine they have to go out and record a car.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because, like you say, they don't have the sound clips like we've got easy to mix in today.
Yeah.
So starting off the bat with the revving engine, and then you've got the bass, the drums, and the guitar kicks in, and the vocals. And it's this guy just loves this engine. And he's telling the audience, us, or maybe his friend who's standing there, it's like, she's real fine, my 409. And he says, well, I saved my pennies, I saved my dimes. Now, this is the 1960s, and so this is early car era. You could still buy a car with pennies and dimes. You didn't have to save, $50,000 to get a new car.
Well, and he bought him a 4-speed dual quad posi traction 409, not just a regular 409. I mean, this car's everything you wanted at the time as a young boy, right?
Okay, so the 4-speed, that's the transmission on it.
Correct.
Okay. The dual quad.
That's 2 4-barrel carburetors on the engine.
Okay. And then the posi traction.
That's talking about the differential and the wheels on the rear, the drive, locked together.
They lock together so that it will continue turning even if there's no grip on one tire.
Like if you don't have posi traction and you do a burnout, it'll leave a burnout on one wheel.
Yeah.
But posi traction, man, you're getting rubber on both of them things.
Nice.
Right on the ground.
Okay. I have to ask you these questions because you're the guru. I wasn't positive about the carburetor, if that was the dual quad, if that was the fact that it's got 4 cylinders on each side. No, this is this is the carburetor.
Exactly. I mean, nothing can catch her. Nothing can touch his 409.
Yeah. I'm so amazed that he can, sing about saving pennies and dimes to buy this top of the line muscle car.
Yeah, and he's 19 years old or something. Now, keep in mind, there was no muscle cars.
True.
This is a big car with a big engine. It wasn't until my beloved 1964 GTO came along that was more of a mid-size car with a big engine that it was kind of monikered as the first muscle car. But this is the early love for that, without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. This song has got an excellent beat, excellent harmonizing. The sound effects chime in so perfectly. It's no wonder this song was an instant hit, especially being the B-side to Surfin' Safari. Another excellently well-done song. This song paired with the Surfin' Safari on the A-side, it's just the perfect combination, and no wonder this was an instant hit. I fell in love with it. But the Beach Boys, you're getting exactly what you expect from the Beach Boys with this song. Beautiful harmonizing, excellent guitar work. There's some great riffs in this that are just, they're banging. These guys, this is what you want to play when you're out, racing around and having a good time with your buddies. And he talks about going to the racetrack and getting the fastest times. And that's something that they could do. There's still a lot of racetracks around the country where you can take your car and you can drive it out on there. It doesn't have to be a race car, but you can find out the times and the capabilities of your own vehicle. And it's pretty cool to do. I've never done it myself, but I have seen video of people doing it. I've seen videos on YouTube of people taking their cars down and running it on the racetrack, and it just looks like a good time. I'd be interested in taking my car and seeing what I could do.
Yeah, when I was senior in high school and right after, I always enjoyed racing. We didn't have a local drag strip, so we kind of had to use some back roads, but it was kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I would have enjoyed growing up next to a drag strip.
I mean, what boy that's hopped up on testosterone hormones isn't going to just love going fast?
Exactly.
Yeah, so these guys really captured an amazing time of a young man's life, and it was great. Have very little criticism for this song. It's beautiful. What are your thoughts on this one, Justin?
So a love song to his car. I believe this might be the earliest ever song or album we have done on this podcast. I don't know if we've got into 62. I know we've done the Beatles debut album in 63, but I think this might be the earliest, with the exception of other Beach Boys songs, but I'd have to go back and look. Yeah. But yeah, I've always liked this song, and my rating's going to be kind of a two-tiered rating system on this one, but I like how the revving car starts it up, and then right into the giddy up stuff that you get going. And it's got great Beach Boys harmonies, which you can hear from the very beginning. And that they're a band that are very, very well known for that. This is a staple song of theirs. I mean, this is the kind of thing that got them going. I think as far as the song goes, really when you listen to it musically, all I can really hear, probably the most dominant instrument on this, is the drums. Mm-hmm. And you can hear a little bass, but mostly drums. There's not a lot of guitar. You get into the center section of the song,
and there's those riffs.
Yeah, there's it's like a quintessential late 50s, early 60s guitar riff. Mm-hmm. It's nothing special, but it fits it perfect. Mm-hmm. And when I say the middle of the song, I mean about 45 seconds in.
Yeah.
So, we get into the later 60s songs that have that long of intros. So, yeah, it's a good song. What makes this one different to me is the culture it makes you feel like and stuff. It's not a song that I'm going to say belongs in the Grammy Hall of Fame or anything like that. It's just because of what it represents and what the Beach Boys represent and how this song makes me feel, because I'm huge into car shows and things like that. Then it's just kind of on a different level. And I don't mean it's better or worse. It's just a different type of song.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So do you want to get the song rating?
Yeah, let's rate it.
Song rating.
Okay, listener, if this is your first episode, I will briefly explain our rating scale, and it's 0 to 10, 10 being the best. And I put this one pretty far up there. I think part of it's the nostalgia I have for it, but also I think I have to admire the snapshot that this song captured of the summer of 1962 and falling in love with big, tough engine. And so I put this one at an 8.5.
No, you don't mean a Native American.
No.
Okay.
I don't. This is a beautiful, beautiful love song to a car, or specifically to a car engine, to a motor.
Okay.
Yeah. So it hits me in a lot of the nostalgias. So where do you put this one, Justin?
Yeah, so without a doubt, if I was to rate this song as far as being on a car soundtrack, a driving soundtrack, or a car show soundtrack, it's probably a 9 to 10 for me as far as that. But as far as a song, I can't rate it much higher than, say, a 7. I think it's a good song. I'm not going to really visit this song that often. And that's kind of weird for me, because it's very important in the Beach Boys maturation process and introducing them, and you've got to put yourself back in time to 1962 and understand what this did. So yeah, it's a 9 or a 10 as far as a car show song, but I would probably rate it a 7. It's a good song, but I just don't visit it that often, but I enjoy it. I really enjoy the song.
Yeah, and it is pretty simple.
Yeah, it's a simple song. It's what it's supposed to be. And how do you compare this with something when you go 5 years later into Pet Sounds? It's nothing even similar.
No, the only thing that gives you the glimpse into Pet Sounds is the fact that it uses the sound effects of the car noises.
Yeah, and the harmonies, obviously, is what was big for the Beach Boys. But a good song, yeah.
Excellent.
So, Pete, thank you for the suggestion on the Beach Boys 409. If anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, would like to tell us what you think of our rating or what you would rate the song, have any songs or albums you'd like us to rate, please send them all to classicvinylpodcast@gmail.com. We really appreciate you taking your time to listen. So until next time, see you later.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to Classic Vinyl Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Classic Vinyl Podcast for updates, and also share us with your music-loving friends.